welcome back to my channel. Teresa Love here. Thank you so much for clicking. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about an awesome readathon that my friend Sabi just created, and I am so excited to share with you, and I'm sure she would love if you jumped in and did it too. She created this awesome Hunger Games readathon. Her Instagram handle is Sabisaysread, and she has a YouTube channel, so you should go check her out on both platforms. Happy Hunger Games readathon, and may the odds ever be in your favor. I'm having so much fun. So the way this Hunger Games works is there are two parts. First one is in May, and it's the whole month of May, and this is called the Reaping. Just like in the books and movies, how based on what you score during the Reaping is how well you'll do during the Hunger Games. So this is the same way that she has set it up, and I am so excited to share this with you. This is going to be so awesome. There are 12 prompts within this readathon, and this lasts all of May, and you get a score between 1 and 12. So now I will talk about the 12 prompts and the books that I have chosen to read, and maybe this will give you some idea on what book to choose. You can start making your own list and be prepared for May 1st to start the readathon. Number 1 is adding your name multiple times to receive a tesserae, which is read a book that is part of a series. So I chose The Ruby Circle by Richelle Mead. This is book 6 in the Bloodline series, and it follows Sydney Sage, who is an alchemist, and we have different types of vampires and elemental magic, and this series is so good, and I'm almost done with the series. This is my last book to read. Number 2 is The Reaping, May the Odds Ever Be in Your Favor. Read the first book from your TBR that comes to mind. The Selection by Kiera Cass. I have had this on my TBR / wanting to read for so long, and for some reason it just keeps getting pushed back and back and back, and I end up not reading it. So I'm like, in this readathon, I'm gonna read this book. It is like a cross between, it's a dystopian and like The Bachelor, except in a book, which I love that, so I'm really excited. Number 3 is volunteer. I volunteer as tribute. Read a book that you're intimidated by. I chose The Scorch Trials by James Dashner. I think I'm intimidated by this because my best friend loves these books, and I loved book 1, and then I got a little confused at the very end. So I was like, I don't know if I want to pick up book 2, and but I still really want to read it, so I'm excited to try it. Number 4 is Opening Ceremony, Katniss, the Girl Who Was on Fire. So it was read a book with a red or orange cover or the word fire in the title. I had the perfect book for this, and I got super excited when I saw it. I picked The Witch and the Wizard by James Patterson. I think the fire definitely matches the prompt. Also, I have never read a James Patterson book, and I've always wanted to, and I've heard so many amazing things, and I feel like I would really enjoy it, so I'm excited to try that. Number 5 is Outfit, Naked and Covered in Black Dust. Read a book that is black under the jacket or is a black book. I picked Torment by Lauren Kate. Look at this cover. I've read book 1 actually twice, and I loved it. And I just want to jump into book 2 because the series is super good, and I've never read. For some reason, I never pick up the next book, so I'm like so excited. Number 6 is Training Center. Read a book in one place. So I don't normally like the prompts that say read a book in one setting, because I don't really want to sit and read like a giant book, because those are normally my books. But this one says in one sitting, and as you know, I have POTS, and I have to be reclined 24/7, or else blood doesn't go to my head, and I get a ton of different symptoms, and I get super sick. So I'm reclined all the time, and I thought I could just choose my chair, which is what I sit in, and then that'll be my book setting. And I chose Sound by Juliet Madison. And this is book 2 in the Delta Girls series. I also loved book 1, and this is super cool. It's about It's about these sisters that all have different senses, and they can like have premonitions like through the senses when they hold hands and connect. And it was a really cute book, and I really want to read the next one, and I thought it was short enough that I could read it kind of quickly in one spot. Number 7 is partner up or train separately. Did I actually get a pair of fighters this year? Read a book where 2 people are partnering up, as in to solve a crime, win the Hunger Games, sisters, lovers, so pretty much 2 people working together. I chose Big Little Lies by Leanne Morty. Sometimes out of this friend group, like 2 of them will work together and like be doing something else. I watched the show with my mom and we love it. So I really, when I saw this book at, I think it was Costco, I was like, okay, I really want to try this. So I'm like super excited. In the series, Reese Witherspoon is in it and she's my favorite actress. So yeah. Number 8 is Show Your Strength from Beginning or Hold Back. Read a book that's underrated. I chose Evermore by Alison Noel. I wasn't seeing this a ton on Bookstagram, and then all of a sudden I did, and I feel like it's a really underrated book. And I loved Radiance by her, and I've always wanted to try this series, and I have 3 of them. So I don't know what it's about. I don't know what it's about, but it's definitely supernatural, and I feel like it's underrated. Especially when I'll read it, I'll be like talking about it a ton if I like it. So number 9 is Skill Training, Archery, Spear Throwing, and Weightlifting. Read a book that includes fighting. I chose Vampire Diaries, The Return, Nightfall by L.J. Smith. I loved Vampire Diaries so much. In fact, L.J. Smith became like my favorite author. And I know that there has to be fighting in this because they're vampires and they're like always fighting, even if they're joking. Number 10, Interview Training, 100 Daniel phrases starting with a smile by lunch. The muscles in my cheeks are twitching from overuse. Read a book that makes you happy. A book that makes me happy is Twilight. I'm actually rereading this with my mom, and I thought it would be good to count because we are rereading it together. We've been going really slow, and it's been a really fun, magical time. But I'm like really excited because the purple flowers are coming and they're gonna lay in the purple flowers field, and that's like my favorite part ever. Yeah, I can talk about Twilight forever. Number 11 is Content Training with Haymitch. Read a book with a strong character lead. I picked #GirlBoss by Sophia Amorazzo. And this is actually the creator of Nasty Gal, and she lives in San Francisco, and it's about her like her clothing company taking off. And I think I watched some of the show, but I wanted to try the book. Number 12 is Cesar Flickman. Same hairstyles, he dyes a different color for each games. Read a book with a cover with the color of your hair. I have to admit, this is not the color of my hair. What I wish my hair was blonde. So I picked a blonde cover. See? Gossip Girl by Cecily von Sisnugger. I can't pronounce that. So I chose Gossip Girl, and I love this show, and I found these books super cheap from someone's Bookstagram, and I was like, I need to try it. Even made a cool cutout for you to take Bookstagram pictures with. She did like, she printed out, she has all these printable papers so that it's all clear and makes sense, and this is awesome, like so cool. See, here's the cutout, and then I wrote the books that I chose. Super cool. Okay, so you shoot for 12 books. Each prompt is only 1 book, so you can't double up on books. And you are shooting for, you're trying to get 12 books because that's the best you can do in the Hunger Games. I'm realistically gonna shoot for 5 to 7 books just so I don't like overstress myself and freak myself out. So 1 to 4 is we can work with that. Allowed to use the bonus before the games, the reaping. Cornucopia, 1 basic weapon, and 1 gift. 5 to 8, well, bravo. allowed to use bonuses of Reaping and Mockingjay Pin. Cornucopia, 2 basic weapons and 2 gifts. And 9 and above, nice shooting, sweetheart. Allowed to use bonuses Reaping, Mockingjay Pin, and Prep Team. Cornucopia, 2 basic weapons, 1 advanced weapon, and 3 gifts. So 5 to 8 is where I'll be, so 5 to 7. And then the actual Hunger Games will take place in September, and a new video will come out about that. She will talk about that later. But I will leave all her stuff, all her information in the description below, and I really hope you join this Hunger Games. I think it could be super fun and pretty chill, and it's awesome to just dive back into the Hunger Games world in different ways, because I wanted to reread Hunger Games, but I didn't necessarily feel like doing that right now because our world is kind of in a dystopian, our world is kind of in a dystopian light, and I kind of wanted to read other stuff that didn't make me think of what was going on in the world. But I thought it was super cool because these Hunger Games prompts are based on Hunger Games, but they're not necessarily like you have to read Hunger Games 1, then 2, then 3, you know. You can read different books, which I thought was really awesome. Well, may the odds ever be in your favor, and I will see you in my next video. If you could subscribe, I would love, love, love to be friends, and if you could like this video, that would really help out my channel. Thank you so much. Bye!